Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Bannon or Airspeed Prime from Avatar The Last Airbender Online.com. I'm the site's super moderator, and this video will be my 7th, I believe, Avatar news update. I will do it in 3 parts as I did before, but this time there'll be a new part. It's going to be comic news, core news, site news, and the last part will be about things I will be doing on my YouTube channel. So getting straight into the comic news, it's all about The Promise Part 1 from Dark Horse Comics. The first thing is that Gene Yang, writer of all 3 parts of it, did a presentation at San Francisco Library. It was about, I think it was just about him doing a presentation on being a comic book author, writer, graphic novels, and he said in a tweet that he would be talking a bit about The Promise. So I guess the first thing to say about it is that no official images or kind of reports have come out about this, just a few kind of fan reports. People have emailed Gene Yang himself about this, and he said that if Dark Horse allows him, he will post the whole presentation online so we can see these images and see what he was talking about, The Promise. But after some searching, I found some information on what was the contents of this presentation. The main piece of information that he said was something about the format, kind of story of the book. It'll be that the first few pages of this book, part 1, will deal with the immediate aftermath of 321, Sozon's Comet Part 4, Avatar Aang. It'll deal with the second half of Zuko and Ozai's conversation about Ursa, and also, as you'll find out later, it'll deal with the aftermath of Aang and Katara's kiss in Ba Sing Se. And after these first few pages, it'll switch to 1 year later with, as I said in one of my earlier news videos, with how Aang and Zuko are dealing with bringing balance back to the world. Regarding the images that were shown at this panel, there's just been a few little descriptions of them. The first thing is this kind of piece of concept art that I think Gene Yang said he drew himself, maybe, about it was Zuko with a mullet that was going to be his year later design, but Mike and Brian did not like this, so it was changed. But it will be interesting just to see this image, if not just for a laugh, but also to see the kind of the Zuko fangirl reaction to this. The next image relates to the kind of story layout that I said before. I believe it was comparison shots between all the main characters as they, in their costumes, outfits, as they ended the show 321, compared to 1 year later designs for most of The Promise. So that'll be really interesting to see how much the designs change with kind of side-by-side comparisons. And the final image that I saw a description of was that I believe he showed a whole page of the comic. No information on what was on this page, but this will, if we do get to see it, this will be the biggest kind of piece of information from this panel. We'll get to see a whole page of the book. This second piece of information regarding The Promise Part 1 was completely unexpected. The Gene Yang presentation thing, even if we get it, it won't be that much information, but just a few days after that, we found out that someone got an early copy of The Promise Part 1 and has been posting some details and some images of the book. The first thing that this person posted was a panel from the comic of Zuko and Katara, and as you can see in the image here, that without fail all the discussion was about Zutara, and for the most part I have no problem with Zutara and everything to do with that, but I think in this case the discussion, everything went about Zutara, and I think that took away from what this news should have really been about, which was us getting to see the inside of the comic art for the first time, getting sort of hints at what the story would be like a year on. We get a better look at the character designs. Thankfully the Zutara stuff hasn't been that serious really this time, and most people have just been kind of accepting it for what it is, what's this to do with the story. And I believe some of the context behind this is that Katara started a fight with someone, and that's why Zuko's trying to stop her. Which, I guess I have this kind of theory about what might be happening, is that Katara, from her experiences with the gang, they were kind of this vigilante group going around the place stopping the Fire Nation, and she may have just been kind of trying to stop a criminal or something like that. But since she is not part of the kind of law enforcement of wherever they are, maybe Bossing Say, maybe the Fire Nation, that it is kind of like a crime in itself to stop someone when you're not the police, and that may be what Zuko's trying to do here, stop Katara from getting in trouble and getting arrested. Also, when the person posted this, they also said that in the comic, Aang and Katara call each other sweetie, which I think is just a really kind of cute thing for their relationship, now that we know a year on they will be like boyfriend and girlfriend. And then, as if by sort of magic, the person realised the kind of shipping war that they started by posting originally a Katara and Zuko shot, posted a Katang shot of I think it's early on in the book, of the immediate aftermath of Aang and Katara kissing, as you can see below. We see Sokka discovering that they're together now, and his shock at this, which I think is just perfect for this scene. Along with this second image, the person's explained a bit about what the main story revolves around, and she said that the main story revolves around Aang, Zuko, and Earth King Quay trying to kind of remove the Fire Nation colonies from the Earth Kingdom, and the kind of good and bads that come with this. And I'm just speculating here, but I believe it is a key to kind of bringing peace back to the world, that the Fire Nation colonies are removed from the Earth Kingdom, just because of the balance of the four nations. But also the kind of conflict may come into it because we know that not all the Fire Nation are evil, and these colonials are probably just regular families, good people, and this is their kind of new home now. And Zuko, this may be where the conflict between Aang and Zuko comes in. Zuko really wants to get them out, but Aang sort of realizes that this is their home now and they may have to stay, and that conflict goes on from there. Now this, if the story really does happen this way, I'm really interested in this, in that it will really kind of explore some of the kind of mysteries that were kind of left open at the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like, we know that peace will be brought back to the world, but yeah, what about these Fire Nation colonies of kind of regular Fire Nation people? And that is all the news relating to The Promise Part 1 and Avatar comics in general. I guess just a final thing to mention is that remember that The Promise Part 1 will be out January 25th, 2012. Part 2 will be released about 3 months after that, and Part 3 3 months after that, which will lead, I presume, hopefully, into the Korra mid to late 2012 release date, which means basically that once we sort of get to January, we've got a good stream of Avatar content coming at us, which should keep away some of the boredom that sort of kind of crept into the fandom of late. And now on to the Last Airbender Legend of Korra news section. Basically, there is no news about Korra, and the fact is that we haven't had a big news update on Korra since SDCC, and we know that Season 1 is pretty much finished. It does kind of go to show how Nick are not in touch with the fandom at all, really. That they sort of just expect us to keep up our enthusiasm for the show, keep talking about it, even when we're getting no information to talk about it. Thankfully, the Promise news has started coming in like thick and fast now, as we are like just over 2 months away from the release of that, which should kind of calm things down about the lack of Korra news. Now it's time for site news for Avatar: The Last Airbender Online.com, the Avatar fan site. There are two big things happening at the moment on Avatar: The Last Airbender Online.com. The first of which is that every year we do this thing called Avatar Christmas Trivia. I'll just give you some background on kind of where the trivia comes in. Pretty much every week on the site we do a trivia. We alternate between regular trivia, which is just kind of written questions and answers, and then the week after that we do picture trivia, where we post kind of like screenshots of kind of random places and ask questions on them. So last year was the first time we did Avatar Christmas Trivia, where I posted 25 regular questions, the hardest ones I could, and then we kept it going for pretty much the whole month of December and see who got the most right. And then we gave community points on the site, which are sort of like just tell you who's the most active member, to the first and second and third place ones. So this year we're going to do Avatar Christmas Trivia a little differently, in that sign up is going to open in about 5 days on November the 16th for anyone. You just have to be a member of the site. And I will be doing questions. It's going to be 12 regular questions, again some of the hardest ones I can come up with in relation to the show, comics, anything really. And also it'll be 12 picture questions. I'll try and do them also as hard as I can. And again, it'll be community points to the winner, first, second and third place. I know it's not really that great of a prize, but I think just it's really fun to do a kind of trivia, get involved in the community around Christmas time. It was really fun last year, just seeing people sort of kind of struggle with some of the really tough questions that I came up with. And as I said, sign up will open on November 16th. I'll post the questions on December 1st, and then I'll post answers and results on Christmas Eve, which should mean that like the winner kind of gets an extra Christmas present on Christmas Day, because I'm so nice. And if you are not yet a member of the site but want to be involved in this, it's completely fine. There's like an introduce yourself section on the site where you can just instantly introduce yourself, and everyone there is really friendly, and it'll be a great way to test your Avatar knowledge against other huge fans of the show. What people always say in relation to these trivias is that they always kind of learn something new just even from the answers they got wrong. The second thing about the site is that, as I mentioned in my last Avatar news update about community opinion, this month is community opinion 10, and rather than me as usual contacting members of the site by PM, I've decided that this month people will sign up for it. And the reason I sort of changed it for this one is that so no one sort of gets left out. If someone wants to do it, they can do it. And the reason you have to sign up for this one is because of the kind of way I've kind of structured this topic. The topic this month, and that it may go into December, is your thoughts on a character. And the kind of twist is that the character will be chosen by another member of the site. So rather than you writing with your favourite character, you'll write about a character someone else has chosen for you. So it may be a character that you haven't really thought as much about. There's a community opinion thread in the forum, which I will link below in the description. And if you're interested, just go onto the site, go into that thread, and say you're interested. And I'm going to explain now kind of how it works, who chooses whose. Basically how it works is that someone signs up, and then the next person to sign up chooses the first person's character, then the next person to sign up chooses that person's character, and so on. An example is what we have so far. As I created it, I had to sign up first, and I haven't chosen anyone. So Tracy then signed up and chose the character Toph for me. Atri, A-T-R-Y, then signed up and chose Ozai for Tracy. Then Kelly signed up and chose Suki for Atri, or Atri. Then Arthan signed up and chose Iroh for Kelly. So the next person to sign up will choose Arthan's character, and so on. And then who I will choose is that I will choose the final person to sign up, as well as the site admin, and then the site admin will choose one of a member of the site's Facebook page, and that'll kind of close this circle, so to speak. And the aim of this is just to kind of get people talking about a character that they may not kind of talk about as much or discuss. Like the character that I have chosen, that was chosen for me, Toph, is a character that, yes, I probably don't discuss as much as I should, because Aang is my favourite character, Azula, Zuko kind of come up in discussions on the site, but not Toph so much, so it'll be really interesting to see what I have to say about her, as well as kind of like how other people feel about their characters that have been chosen for them. So as I said for Christmas trivia, if you want to get involved in this, it's simple, so easy. Just sign up for the site. I'll have a link to where you do that. And just, again, there's a section on the site for introducing yourself to the rest of the community. As I said before, everyone's really friendly. And you should meet like fellow Avatar fans that have some of the same interests as you. And this should be a really fun community opinion. A lot different than any of the other ones, and it should make for a really interesting post at the end. And finally, the last section I'm going to talk about is my YouTube channel. And there are, again, two things that I'm doing or have started already. The first thing is that I've already started already, as you may have seen. The last two videos I've posted have been Avatar episode commentaries for 101, The Boy in the Iceberg, and 102, The Avatar Returns. My aim is to go through the series in order, doing episode commentaries. I think they've been received fairly well so far. Again, if you haven't watched them, I suggest you at least try the first one by like watching the episode with the commentary on, synced up to it. And then the second thing is that I may be starting to do these sort of vlog videos, video blog sort of thing, where on camera I kind of talk about an Avatar topic and sort of open up that question in the comments or for video replies. Yeah, just like topics ranging from anything like favourite character discussions, themes of the show, stuff like that. Even stuff to do with like kind of fandom, how you got into Avatar and stuff like that. So that's this video. Thank you for watching. Again, this has been Morgan Bannon or SB Prime, site super moderator for Avatar The Last Airbender Online.com. So bye, and see you the next time there is Avatar news.